Recap of Boston Blue, Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot, in English. Spoilers ahead. Basic setup and context. The show is a spin-off of Blue Bloods, with Donnie Wahlberg reprising the role of Detective Danny Reagan, now relocating from NYPD to the Boston Police Department. In Boston, Danny is paired with Detective Sonequa Martin Green's character, Lena Silver, who comes from a prominent Boston law enforcement family. The show premiered on CBS on October 17, 2025. Recap plot summary. Here's a more or less chronological breakdown of Episode 1. Opening and inciting incident. The episode begins with Danny Reagan having been called into Boston following a serious incident involving his younger son Sean Reagan, who is now also with the Boston PD. While not all details are spelled out in sources, we know Danny's move is triggered by family and career shifts. Danny arrives in Boston, meets his new partner Lena Silver, and begins to acclimate to a new city, a new department, and a new cultural environment. The cultural clash is subtly emphasized. Danny is New York born and bred, and Boston has its own traditions and family expectations. The case setup. Early in the episode, Danny and Lena are assigned a case, a tech company fire or explosion reported in previews, which is more than a simple fire. According to press coverage, the case involves a deadly fire and possibly facial recognition or other high-tech elements. As Danny and Lena investigate the blaze, they uncover that the fire may have been caused intentionally, and that there's a larger conspiracy or cover-up linked to the company's tech, its employees, and perhaps illicit practices. This pushes Danny to lean on his old instincts while also relying on Lena's local knowledge. Character dynamics and family introductions. The episode also introduces the extended Silver family, Lena's mother, stepsister and other family members who are in law enforcement or justice roles, e.g., a district attorney or other senior position. This mirrors the family dinner dynamics of Blue Bloods but in a Boston setting. Danny's transition is shown not just professionally, but personally. He grapples with the move, how it affects his identity, his role as father, and how his son Sean fits into this new chapter in Boston. Climax and resolution. By the end of the episode, Danny and Lena solve or at least make a major breakthrough in the fire case. They identify the arsonist or the responsible party, the tech company insider or cover-up, and bring them to light. The resolution is not complete. Foreshadowing is present for deeper arcs, but the immediate danger is addressed. The final moments show Danny at home in Boston, possibly at a family dinner with the Silvers or the Reagan-Silver merged gathering, signaling his integration into the new chapter, but also hinting at the challenges ahead. New city, new team, new issues of faith, duty and family. Themes and key observations. New city, old familiar role. Danny moves from New York to Boston. Same job cop but new culture, new team, new expectations. This generates tension and opportunity. Family and legacy. As with Blue Bloods, much of the show revolves around family legacy, the Reagan name, the Silver family, but here it's expanded to a new environment with fresh characters. Technology and justice. The pilot's case emphasizes that modern policing involves tech companies, data privacy, and high-stakes corporate wrongdoing, not just street crime. Faith, community and culture. Early coverage notes that the Silver family includes significant faith and community institutions, e.g., a pastor grandfather, so the show seems to weave in these elements along with police procedural. My take, summary thoughts. The pilot of Boston Blue establishes a strong foundation. It brings Danny Reagan into a new milieu, introduces a fresh partner, Lena Silver, sets up a compelling tech-driven case, and plants the seeds for ongoing storylines about family, faith, culture and justice. While the case is familiar procedurally, the new setting and new supporting cast give it potential to differentiate from its predecessor. If you liked it, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more recaps like this. Recap, spoiler heavy, of Boston Blue, Season 1, Episode 2, Teammates, in English. Basic info and setup. Episode title, Teammates, Season 1, Episode 2. Main characters in focus. Donnie Wahlberg is Detective Danny Reagan, Sonequa Martin Green is Detective Lena Silver, Danny's son Sean Reagan, new Boston PD cop, and other members of the Silver Reagan families. Key themes. partnership, loyalty, family legacy, rookie pressure, police mistakes. Recap plot summary. Here's a more or less chronological breakdown of what happens in the episode. Opening and the rookie day. The episode opens with Sean Regan preparing for his first official day as a Boston Police Department patrol officer, partnered with Jonah Silver, his friend and a member of the Silver family. Danny Regan, now a detective in Boston, adjusts to his new partnership with Lena Silver and the new city, while still concerned about his son Sean and his role in Boston. The crime scene and investigation. Danny and Lena are pulled into a high-stakes investigation when a key whistleblower, Winston Ballard, is found dead. Ballard had been a witness in a large Ponzi scheme case against financier Louis Malakov. The police protection detail for Winston had failed. One officer left early for a family emergency, another lied about being nearby, leaving Winston vulnerable. The result? His abduction and murder in front of his wife. Danny and Lena quickly identify that the murder was planned to silence the witness. They confront Malakov, but in a twist he's shot dead in front of them, his last word, "Win." The blue van used in the escape is tied to Malakov's ex-wife Winnie's nonprofit agency. Rookie officers and family pressure. Meanwhile, Sean and Jonah face the pressure of being rookies from police families. They're told about being hero vs sidekick on their first ride along, which creates tension rather than clarity. They initially stumble but begin to adjust. The Silver family dynamics are featured. Lena's mother May Silver, district attorney, and Lena's sister Sarah, superintendent, both deal with internal police issues, the disrespect of veterans, loyalty, discipline. Sarah has to fire her former partner for leaving his post, causing family friction. Danny's decision and emotional turn. By the end of the episode, Danny Regan makes a major life decision. Although he's still very much a New Yorker at heart and misses his old life, he tells Sean and Jonah that he will stay in Boston and commit to being there for his son. The investigation concludes with arrests. Harold Baca and Naomi Ballard are implicated, and the recognition of systemic failures in police protection. Danny's decision signals a serious shift, not just professionally, but personally. Themes and key observations. Partnership and trust. Danny and Lena's partnership is tested. Sean and Jonah's rookie pairing also shows the challenge of trust and identity. Legacy and identity. Sean follows the Regan legacy. Lena comes from the Silver law enforcement family. Their cross-family partnership reflects the show's emphasis on legacy and duty. Failure and accountability. The failed witness protection detail highlights human error, institutional weaknesses, and the personal cost of such failures. Choice and belonging. Danny's decision to stay in Boston, despite his roots in New York, underscores a choice of belonging, of being present for family rather than always being on the move. Power and crime beyond street level. The case isn't just a street murder, it's tied to a white-collar Ponzi scheme, showing the interconnectedness of crime, money, power and policing. My take, summary thoughts. Episode 2 of Boston Blue builds significantly on the pilot by deepening character relationships, upping the stakes of the case, and reinforcing the dual themes of family and duty. It's a strong follow-up that moves both the personal arcs, Danny settling in, Sean starting his career, and the procedural arcs, complex murder investigation, forward. If you liked it, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more recaps like this. Recap of Boston Blue Season 1, Episode 3, titled History, in English. Spoilers ahead. Setup and context. In this third episode, detective partners Danny Regan, Donnie Wahlberg, and Lena Silver, Sonequa Martin Green, continue to settle into the Boston Police Department after Danny's move from New York. The series weaves together high-stakes crime investigations with personal and relational storylines. Episode 3 deepens both. Plot summary. The case of the new drug, killer whale. The episode opens when a body is found on the Boston Wharf and the cause of death appears to involve a new street drug known as killer whale. Danny and Lena are assigned the case and quickly discover that the victim, Kathy Sullivan, was a low-level drug offender. They dig into the dealer network, identifying a man named Mitchell Edgars as the key figure distributing killer whale. Initially, they suspect one of his underlings, Bones, of murder, but it turns out Edgars killed his own man to send a message and cover up his operation. Danny and Lena arrest Edgars, interrupting the spread of the drug. Subplot: Jonah and Sean's side investigation. While the main detectives pursue the drug case, newcomers Jonah Silver and Sean Reagan, Lena's cousin and Danny's son, respectively, are sent on a seemingly lighter task: help an elderly neighbor track down a missing man, Murray Bennett. They realize his disappearance is connected to an online scavenger hunt-style website. They eventually find Murray trapped under a case in a storage facility. Their successful rescue provides a lighter counterpoint to the heavier drug case. Relationship threads and character moments. Lena is surprised when her former partner, Brian Ryan Broussard, shows up on the case. Their past creates tension. It's clear there are feelings, but Lena has a rule against dating former partners. Danny, recognizing her hesitation, offers her advice about moving forward. Lena finally agrees to go on a date with Brian. Meanwhile, Danny receives a surprise visit from Maria Baez, Marissa Ramirez, his former partner and romantic interest from his New York days. She appears at the end of the episode, affirming their ongoing connection despite his move to Boston. Their reunion closes the episode on a warm note. Also featured is Lena's partner-turned-friend Sarah's subplot. Sarah works to build trust with her boyfriend's daughter, Phoebe, after intervening to stop underage drinking. This storyline offers character growth outside the main case. Themes and observations. Professional and personal collision. The case involving the new drug, killer whale, forces Danny and Lena to navigate professional responsibility while their personal dynamics evolve. Trust and new beginnings. Lena's hesitation with Brian reflects fear of repeating past mistakes. Danny's reconciliation with Baez shows he's trying for stability, and it gives the show connective roots to its predecessor. Mentorship and growth. Jonah and Sean's side mission highlights growth and mentorship. Their mistakes and eventual success mirror the larger detectives' arcs. Addiction and consequence. The drug death of Kathy Sullivan and the emotional fallout for her brother Sully, a recovering addict, give the procedural stakes real emotional weight. My take: summary thoughts. Episode 3 of Boston Blue stands out by balancing a compelling central case with deep character moments. The killer whale investigation is gritty but doesn't overshadow the interpersonal developments: Lena's romance, Danny's history, the next generation of detectives. It's exactly the kind of episode that both fans of procedural crime and character-driven drama will appreciate. For a recap video or script, key beats to highlight would be: discovery of the body plus introduction of the drug, killer whale. Lena's former partner Brian entering the story plus Danny's counsel and Lena's date decision. Jonah and Sean's scavenger hunt rescue subplot. Danny's surprise visitor Baez and their reunion in the elevator. The conclusion of the drug dealer case and the emotional impact on Sully. Recap, spoiler heavy, of Boston Blue, Season 1, Episode 4, titled, Rites of Passage. Setup and context. This episode weaves together multiple threads: the Silver family's emotional observance of their patriarch's anniversary, a murder investigation led by detectives Danny Reagan and Lena Silver, a hostage scenario handled by Lena's sister Sarah Silver, and ethical, legal complications for the family matriarch May Silver. Episode aired November 7, 2025. Plot summary. 1. Family and memorial. The episode opens with the Silver family gathering for a Yarzeit, a Jewish memorial service marking the one-year anniversary of Patriarch Ben Silver's death. The service mourners Kaddish, followed by family stories, brings together Lena, Sarah, Jonah and their extended circle. Lena's internal conflict surfaces. She had delayed formally converting to Judaism because of her grandfather's Baptist background. This ceremony acts as a turning point, and by the end of the evening she decides to commit to conversion. Meanwhile, May Silver meets with Joanna Daniels, a woman whose son, Elijah, was sentenced by Ben Silver 10 years earlier to a decade in prison after a bar fight that left the other person permanently injured. The case never got proper review because of Ben's influence. May now faces a decision: uphold her husband's past courtroom legacy, or revisit the sentence and risk the family's reputation. 2. The murder investigation. Detectives Danny Reagan and Lena Silver are assigned the case of the murder of Henry Chen, a beloved antique shop owner whose body was discovered in his store. The investigation reveals multiple layers. Henry's employee Jimmy Holloway had been under duress from loan shark associates to help them escape after a bank robbery they staged. The robbers used a tunnel connecting the bank to Henry Chen's store as a getaway route. Henry returned unexpectedly to pick up a rare orchid he was shipping to his daughter and was killed as collateral damage. Simultaneously, a hit-and-run victim connects to the case. The robbers struck a pedestrian as they sped out of the tunnel, and this becomes Jonah and Sean's minor investigation thread that intersects with Danny and Lena's main case. Danny works to protect his son, Sean Reagan, now in Boston PD, from danger and to bridge the father-son divide. Jonah, Lena's cousin, recognizes Sean's frustration at being treated as dad's kid, rather than a fellow cop, and brings the two to a meaningful spot once visited with Ben Silver to help them connect. By the end of the case, Jimmy Holloway and the getaway crew are identified and arrested. The murder of Chen, the bank robbery and the hit-and-run are revealed as linked incidents. Danny and Lena secure justice, but the personal costs remain. 3. Hostage situation and Sarah's role. Parallel to the murder case, Sarah Silver's team responds to a bank robbery hostage scenario triggered by the same criminals tied to the Chen murder. 2 people inside the bank go missing. Body temperature scan reveals anomalies prompting a tactical breach. Sarah must manage crisis, public risk, and her own legacy as part of the Silver law enforcement family. Through her crisis response, she gains credibility and shows leadership under pressure. 4. May's decision and ethical reckoning. May Silver comes to the realization that she must confront Ben Silver's legacy. She tells Lena and Sarah she is going to support Joanna Daniels and request a review of her son's sentence, despite the political and familial fallout. This is a major shift and places May at odds with what may remain of the family's judicial legacy. Lena supports her mother's ethical choice, even as she grapples with her own conversion and professional identity. Themes and observations. Legacy and identity. The episode centers on what is handed down: Ben Silver's memory, Lena's heritage, Sean's role, May's professional reputation, and how each character chooses to accept or challenge that legacy. Faith and belief. Lena's decision to convert, the Yarzate ceremony and the moral reckoning of May's decision all tie faith, both religious and ethical, into the procedural fabric. Justice, collateral damage and complexity. The murder case shows how crime doesn't happen in a vacuum. Bank robbery, hidden tunnels, unplanned deaths. The investigatory threads converge in unexpected ways, reflecting the complexity of policing and the risk of unintended consequences. Family and professional convergence. Danny and Sean's relationship, Lena's connection to Jonah and Ben Silver's memory, all show how familial roles and professional duties blend in conflict. Change and reckoning. The Silver family is at a turning point. The first anniversary of Ben's death, Lena's conversion, May's ethical shift, all signal change rather than status quo. My take. Summary thoughts. Episode 4 of Boston Blue stands as one of the show's best so far in balancing character depth and procedural momentum. The murder investigation is robust and layered, yet the emotional stakes, Lena's conversion, May's family legacy, Danny's father-son bond, elevate the standard, case of the week, into something more resonant and rooted. The bank robbery hostage subplot enriches the main case rather than distracting, and the tight weaving of family history into the crime narrative gives the episode emotional potency.
Episode title: Suffer the Children. Air date: November 14, 2025 on CBS. Main characters: Donnie Wahlberg, Boston PD detective, formerly of New York. Lena Silver,
Danny's partner from a prominent Boston law enforcement family. Sarah Silver,
Maggie Lawson,
May Silver,
Gloria Rubin,
Sean Reagan,
Nika Amonson,
Jonah Silver also play key roles. Plot summary: the shooting and family accountability. The episode opens with a violent incident. 3 teenagers are killed in a mass shooting at a frozen yogurt shop. Sarah Silver digs into the case. She recovers the gun used by the shooter and investigates the origins, tracing it back to the Ferguson family. The shooter is revealed to be a 16-year-old named Kyle Ferguson. Sarah makes a bold argument. Kyle's parents, despite being responsible gun owners, may bear some responsibility for the violence. She claims they failed to address his mental health, even though they knew he struggled and wasn't properly medicated. The Ferguson parents are arrested on charges of involuntary manslaughter. Sarah's determination to hold them accountable underlines a central moral debate. How much do parents owe their children? And by extension, how culpable are they when tragedy strikes? The Art Heist case and murder mystery. Parallel to the shooting, Danny and Lena are pulled into a cold case. A new lead in the infamous Isabella Stewart job and her muse in the Art Heist. A real-life, unsolved crime. A man comes to the precinct claiming he has information about the heist, but abruptly leaves after receiving a phone call, and is later found murdered in his family home.
At the crime scene, Lena notices something striking. A painting was cut from its frame, exactly the method used in the original Gardner Museum loft.
Digging into the victim's background, they learn he is Andy Gosher Jr. and his father,
Andy Sr.
and a man named Zachary Alberico were suspected in the original heist decades ago. Evidence suggests that Andy Jr. discovered something important,
Perhaps a hidden painting.
and his brother Clayton Gosher murdered him to protect that secret.
Lena, who has a personal connection to art, is particularly driven. She believes the painting is real. Her investigation becomes more than procedural. It's deeply tied to her sense of heritage and identity.
At the end of the episode, the case remains partly unresolved. The heist connection is made, Clayton's possible motives are exposed, but the stolen work is not recovered. Danny and Sean.
Personal struggles.
Danny's relationship with his son, Sean Reagan, continues to be strained. The shooting and the investigation force Danny to confront how he connects with his children.
In a quieter subplot, Jonah, Lena's cousin,
and Sean help an elderly man who is suffering from memory issues. This storyline reinforces the episode's themes of generational legacy, responsibility, and repair. Danny, dealing with fatherhood, questions his own approach to parenting. How much influence should he exert? How much responsibility does he have? These questions mirror Sarah's investigation into Kyle's parents. And key observation.
and parental responsibility. The episode probes how much parents are accountable for their children's health trends, especially when mental health and access to weapons are involved.
To legacy and crime.
By digging into the Gardner Museum heist, Boston Blue connects past crimes to present-day consequences, showing how secrets and history shape modern-day cases.
3. Justice versus morality. Is it enough to solve a crime legally? Or must detectives also reckon with moral complexity? Especially in cases involving family and legacy. 4. Family connection.
Across storylines, characters wrestle with how to be a parent or a child. Danny with Sean, Lena with her Austin Aller, Sarah with Kyle's parents.
5. Art as identity. Lena's passion for art is not just professional. The stolen painting and her investigation reflect deeper questions about her heritage and what was lost in her family. My take. Is one of the series' most emotionally laid episodes so far. It doesn't rely solely on the procedural crime of the weak formula. It uses real Boston history, ties it into generational trauma, and wrestles with profound ethical questions. Danny Reagan is not just solving crimes, it's reconciling with his wrong as a father, and trying to bridge the gap with Sean. Lena is not just a detective, she's a woman with a legacy, and the art mystery forces her to face buried parts of herself. Sarah's subplot about Kyle Ferguson and his parents is timely, difficult, and carries moral weight.